Chapter 13 Nicolas Flamel. Harry takes Dumbledore's advice. He does not try to find the mirror of Erised, and he does not use the invisibility cloak either. But Harry cannot forget what he has seen in the mirror. He starts having nightmares again. Over and over he dreams about his parents. He sees them disappearing in a flash of green light, and he hears that high, cruel laugh. Harry tries to forget about the mirror by focusing on discovering more about Nicolas Flamel. He and Ron and Hermione and Neville spend as much time as they can between classes searching in the library. But they have no luck at all. With Quidditch practice, Harry has even less time to devote to his investigation. Their next Quidditch game is against Slytherin. The whole school is excited to see the game. If Gryffindor wins, they move into first place in the house championship. Harry is already nervous, but during one practice, Oliver Wood, the team captain, gives the team some bad news. "I know the next game is going to be a difficult one, but I thought I would tell you this. Professor Snape will be refereeing the game." The whole team complains loudly, but Harry is a bit worried. "We're going to have to play a clean game, guys. Snape is looking for any chance to take away points from Gryffindor," Wood continues. Harry might be worried about Snape being ref, but he has another reason he doesn't want Snape to be near him. The last game, Snape tried to knock him off his broomstick. When Harry tells his friends about Snape, they try to convince him not to play. "Pretend you broke your leg," says Ron. "Say you're sick," Hermione suggests. "But I have to play," Harry says. "I'm the only seeker on the team. We don't have a backup seeker. The team is depending on me. If I don't play, Gryffindor will have to forfeit the game, and we will lose our position in the cup." Harry is almost desperate. Ron feels sorry for Harry. He wants to try to cheer him up, so he gives Harry a piece of chocolate from the collectible wizard cards he received as a gift from his parents during Christmas. Harry takes the package and opens it. Inside is a delicious chocolate candy and a collectible wizard card. Harry has been collecting the cards since he arrived at Hogwarts. Harry looks at the card. It is Dumbledore. "Here, Neville," Harry says, handing Neville the card. "You can have this. I already have Dumbledore in my collect." Harry looks at the card, and then he says suddenly, "I've found him! I've found Flamel! I knew I had seen his name somewhere." Harry turns the Dumbledore card over. There is a picture of Dumbledore and an explanation about him. Listen to this. Harry begins reading the card. "Dumbledore is particularly famous for his work on alchemy with his partner Nicolas Flamel." Hermione jumps to her feet and cheers. Ron smiles a big smile, and Neville still looks a bit confused. "Stay there," Hermione says. She runs up the stairs to the girls' side of Gryffindor. She returns almost instantly. She is holding a large, thick, heavy book in her arms. She opens the book and turns a few pages, and then, "I knew it! I knew it!" she yells. "Nicolas Flamel," she reads,
is the only known maker of the Philosopher's Stone," she finishes dramatically.
The other children look at her with no expression on their faces.
"The what?"
says Ron. She gives the book to Ron and tells him to read more. Ron reads,
"The ancient study of alchemy is concerned with making the Philosopher's Stone. The Philosopher's Stone is a substance that has incredible powers. The stone will transform any metal into pure gold. It also produces the elixir of life. The elixir will make the drinker immortal. There are many stories about the Philosopher's Stone, but the only stone that exists today belongs to Nicolas Flamel."
Ron closes the book slowly.
"See,"
Hermione says,
"the three-headed dog must be guarding Flamel's Philosopher's Stone. Dumbledore probably put it there to keep it safe. He knew someone wanted to steal it. That's why he took it out of Gringotts. A stone that makes gold and stops you from dying," says Harry. "No wonder Snape is trying to get it," Ron says. "Anyone would want it."
They spend the next few days discussing what to do about the Philosopher's Stone, but they still do not have a solution. And today they have no time to think about it. The big Quidditch game between Gryffindor and Slytherin arrives. Harry is very nervous, and his friends worry that they will not see him alive after the game. "I don't want to worry you," Oliver Wood tells Harry, "but this is your most important game. We're all counting on you. Everyone's here to watch, even Dumbledore." "Dumbledore is here," thinks Harry. "If he's here, then I'll be safe. There's no way Snape will try anything while Dumbledore is watching." Harry's friends are not as certain. They are in the stands, watching Snape carefully. "Look," yells Ron, "the game is starting. Ouch!" Someone has hit Ron in the back of the head. It is Malfoy. "Oh, sorry, Weasley," Malfoy says. "I didn't see you there. I wonder how long Potter will be able to stay on his broomstick. Does anyone want to make a bet? How about you, Weasley?" Ron does not answer. Hermione is watching the game closely. She is keeping one eye on Harry and the other on Snape, and she is trying to ignore Malfoy. High above the other players, she can see Harry circling the sky, looking for the snitch. "Do you know how they choose people for the Gryffindor team?" asks Malfoy. "The team chooses people they feel sorry for. See, there's Potter. He has no family. And there are the Weasleys. They don't have any money. You should be on the team, Longbottom. You don't have any brains." Neville changes color from white to red to purple almost instantly. He turns around and faces Malfoy. "I may not have any brains, Malfoy, but at least I have real friends," he says. Malfoy and the ever-present Crabbe and Goyle all laugh. "You tell them, Neville," Ron says in solidarity. "Longbottom, if brains were gold, you would be poorer than Weasley here." "Ha ha," continues Malfoy, laughing again at his own cruelty. "I'm warning you, Malfoy," Ron threatens. "One more word from you and—" "Ron, look!" yells Hermione. "What is it? Where?" Harry suddenly falls down from the sky in a spectacular dive. The crowd cheers and gasps. Hermione stands up. She is covering her mouth with her hands. Harry moves faster and faster towards the ground, like a speeding bullet. "Looks like Potter has found some money on the ground," says Malfoy. Ron cannot stand it anymore. Before Malfoy even knows what is happening, Ron is on top of him, punching and pinching and hitting him. Hermione hesitates, but Neville jumps over his seat and joins the fight to help Ron. Hermione looks back to the game.
"Come on, Harry!"
she screams, jumping up and down. Harry is speeding down towards Snape. Snape turns just in time. Harry misses Snape by centimeters. The next second, Harry pulls up from his dive and raises his hand in triumph. He is holding the snitch tightly in his hand. The crowd goes crazy. It is a new school record. No one can even remember the last time the snitch was caught so quickly.
"Ron, Neville, the game's over. Harry has won. We've won. Gryffindor is in the lead."
She is dancing up and down on her seat. She does not even see the pile of kids behind her. Malfoy has a big black eye. Ron's nose is bleeding heavily, but he has a big smile on his face. And Neville is on top of Crabbe and Goyle. All of them are unconscious. All three had hit their heads together at the same time and fell in a big pile, completely knocked out. The game lasted less than 5 minutes. Harry cannot believe it. Snape looks furious at Harry, but then suddenly Dumbledore is there, congratulating him. "Well done, Potter," says Dumbledore quietly. "It's nice to see you have not been spending your time looking for the mirror." Snape walks away angrily. Harry stays in the locker room after the game. He is alone, and he is happy. He has never been happier. He has done something that he can be very proud of. As he leaves the locker room, the sun is setting behind the castle. It is getting dark. He is thinking how angry Snape will be when, suddenly, Harry sees a dark shape coming quickly down the front steps of the castle. The person is wearing a dark cloak and a hood over his head. He obviously does not want to be recognized. But Harry recognizes the person from the way he walks. It is Snape. He is sneaking into the Forbidden Forest while everyone else is at dinner. What is he doing? Harry climbs onto his Nimbus 2000 and flies quietly into the air. As Harry climbs higher and higher, he can see Snape entering the forest far below. He follows him. It is difficult to see Snape because of the trees, but soon Snape appears in an open space in the woods. Harry can hear voices in the darkness below him. He slows his broomstick down and he climbs quietly onto a tree branch to watch and to listen. Below in the clearing, he can see Snape. He is not alone. Professor Quirrell is with him. Harry listens, but he cannot hear everything. "Don't know why you wanted to meet here in the forest, Severus," stutters Quirrell. "Oh, I wanted this to be very private," Snape replies in a cold voice. "Students are not supposed to know about the Philosopher's Stone, after all." Harry misses something Quirrell says, then he hears Snape again. "Have you discovered how to get past the three-headed dog yet?"
But Severus,
continues Quirrell. "You don't want me as your enemy, Quirrell," says Snape. Snape moves closer to Quirrell in a threatening manner.
"I don't know what you—"
Quirrell says. "You know exactly what I mean," responds Snape. "I'm running out of patience, Quirrell. You need to decide where you place your loyalties." Snape quickly covers his head with his dark hood and walks quickly back towards the castle. Quirrell stands there as if he were a petrified tree. When Harry finally gets back to Gryffindor, he calls all his friends to a quiet corner and tells them everything he has seen and heard.
"So, we were right. It is the Philosopher's Stone, and Snape is trying to force Quirrell to help him get it. He asked Quirrell if he knew how to get past Fluffy."
Harry continues,
"But if Snape needs Quirrell's help, there are probably other enchantments guarding the stone. Quirrell is an expert in the dark arts, after all."
Hermione has a concerned look on her face.
"So,"
she says,
"the stone will only be safe as long as Quirrell refuses to do what Snape tells him to do. But what are we supposed to do in the meantime?"
Harry responds,
"That's what we have to decide."
Chapter 14. Norbert, the Norwegian Ridgeback. Classwork and school responsibilities over the next few weeks make it impossible for the children to think or even talk about the stone. But Quirrell seems to be more courageous than they expected. It appears that, as the weeks progress, he has not surrendered to Snape, and Snape continues to be in a constant bad mood. The children still have hope. But there is something else that happens that distracts the children even more. It is Hagrid. They see him one evening in the castle, coming from the library. He is walking back to his house. He keeps looking over his shoulder as if someone is following him. He is acting very suspiciously. The children decide to investigate.
"Hello, Hagrid,"
Harry says as they approach him.
"How are you?"
Nothing,"
Hagrid responds suspiciously.
"I don't have anything under my coat. What are you all doing here? Are you following me?"
Hagrid is obviously hiding something under his coat, behind his back. But the children don't mention it.
"Are you still looking for Flamel?"
Hagrid asks.
"Oh, we know all about the Philosopher's Stone and Fluffy,"
begins Hermione.
"Shh!"
yells Hagrid.
"Don't go talking about that in public."
"That's actually why we came over to you, Hagrid,"
Harry says.
"We'd like to ask you a few questions about him."
Listen, just come over later. I can't promise anything. No one is supposed to know anything, anyway. They will think I told you,"
Hagrid says, with a worried look on his face.
"Okay, we'll see you later,"
Harry says. Hagrid gives one more suspicious look at the children and walks towards his house. They knock on Hagrid's door later that night. But something is strange. The house is very quiet, and all the curtains are closed.
"Who is it?"
Hagrid asks cautiously. He opens the door slowly and quickly rushes Harry, Ron, and Hermione inside. It is extremely hot inside. Even though it is a warm night, there is a huge fire in the fireplace. Hagrid makes them some tea, and Harry decides there is no reason to wait.
Hagrid, we know about the stone. But what else is protecting the stone besides Fluffy?
Hagrid makes a frown.
"You know I can't tell you, Harry. Dumbledore has his reasons."
Harry persists.
But Hagrid, we need to know about the teachers. Who is loyal to Dumbledore? And who does Dumbledore trust? Besides you, of course.
Hagrid looks very proud that Harry thinks Dumbledore trusts him so much.
"Well, I guess it can't hurt too much,"
Hagrid continues.
"You've got Professor Sprout, Flitwick, and McGonagall, obviously. Quirrell worked directly with Dumbledore, of course."
Hagrid pauses for a second to think. Then he continues,
"Oh, and Professor Snape. I almost forgot him."
Snape?
The children say in surprise.
"Of course, Snape,"
Hagrid says.
"Why do you distrust him so much? He helped protect the stone. He's not going to steal it."
The children are not convinced. They believe that Snape knows all the different spells that are protecting the stone, all of them except how to get past Fluffy. Harry is distracted.
Hagrid, can you please open a window? I'm melting.
"Sorry, Harry, I can't,"
answers Hagrid. Harry sees Hagrid look at the fireplace. There, in the middle of the fire, Harry sees something he cannot believe. An egg! A huge black egg!
Hagrid, what's that?
Harry asks.
Hagrid
begins.
That's...
Hermione looks closer at the egg.
That's a dragon egg, Hagrid. What are you doing with a dragon egg?
I won it last night in a game of cards. I won it from a stranger. When I think about it now, I think he was happy I won it from him.
But what are you going to do with it once it hatches?
Hermione asks.
You know dragons are prohibited in the wizard world.
I know,
Hagrid answers.
But I've always wanted a dragon. Ever since I can remember, I've wanted a dragon. This one's a Norwegian Ridgeback. They're a very rare species.
But Hagrid, you live in a wooden house,
Ron says.
Dragons breathe fire. Have you thought about that?
But Hagrid does not pay any attention to Ron. He is looking at the big black egg in the fire with an expression full of love. Now the children have one more thing to think about: how to protect Hagrid from getting into trouble for his illegal dragon egg. A few days later, while Harry is having breakfast in the Great Hall, his owl Hedwig brings him a note from Hagrid. There is only one line on the note.
The egg is hatching!
Ron and Hermione begin to talk excitedly about seeing a dragon egg hatch at Hagrid's house. Suddenly,
"Shut up,"
Harry whispers loudly. Malfoy walks by just as they are talking about the egg. Harry doesn't know how much he has heard, but he doesn't like the look on Malfoy's face.
That's all we need, thinks Harry.
Now Malfoy might know about the prohibited egg. After herbology class, the children run to Hagrid's.
"It's almost out,"
Hagrid says as he opens the door and lets the children inside. The egg is on the table. There are many large cracks in the shell. Something is moving inside it. There are funny clicking noises coming from inside the egg. The children approach the egg and watch closely. Suddenly, there is a loud scraping noise and the egg cracks open into 2 large pieces. The baby dragon falls onto the table. Harry thinks it looks like a broken black umbrella. Its black wings are very large compared to its small black body. Its face is very long, and it has very wide nostrils at the end of its snout. There are teeny tiny horns on top of its head, and it has large orange eyes. It sneezes suddenly, and there is a small flame that flies out of its mouth.
"Isn't he beautiful?"
Hagrid says. He reaches his hand out to pet the dragon's head. The dragon tries to bite his fingers. It has long, sharp teeth.
"Look, he knows who his mummy is,"
says Hagrid, full of love and affection.
Hagrid,
asks Hermione.
how fast do Norwegian Ridgebacks grow?
Hagrid is about to answer, then suddenly he jumps up and runs to the window.
What's the matter?
asks Harry in surprise.
"There was someone looking in the window,"
Hagrid answers.
"It was a kid. He's running back to the school."
Harry runs to the door and looks out. Even from a far distance, Harry can see him clearly. There is no mistake. It is Malfoy. He has seen the dragon. The way Malfoy smiles at Harry, Ron, and Hermione over the next weeks makes them all nervous. But they have more important things to think about, like trying to convince Hagrid to give up his dragon. But they are unable to convince him. Hagrid is so full of love and caring for his new pet that the children can do nothing to change his mind. Hagrid even names the dragon Norbert. Several weeks later, after Norbert has grown 3 times in size, Harry has a great idea.
Charlie,
he says suddenly one day to Ron.
Who?
Ron says.
Your brother Charlie in Romania. Isn't he studying dragons? Maybe we could convince him to take Norbert from Hagrid.
Ron has a big smile on his face.
That's a brilliant idea, Harry. I'll send him an owl to ask him.
While they are waiting for an answer, Ron and Hermione go to Hagrid's to talk to him. When they come back to Gryffindor, Ron's hand is covered in a bloody cloth.
He bit me,
yells Ron.
I won't be able to write for a week. And it scratched me,
Hermione says.
I was just trying to help Ron, and it scratched me.
Just at that moment, there was a tap, tap, tap at the window. It is Ron's owl with a note from Charlie. Ron reads the letter.
I don't think we'll have to wait much longer to get rid of that dragon,
he says.
Listen to this.
Dear Ron, how are you? Thanks for the letter. I'd be glad to take the Norwegian Ridgeback, but it won't be easy getting him here. Some friends of mine are visiting me from Hogwarts next week. I think the best thing is to send the dragon in a crate with them. But I don't want them to get into trouble, since dragons are illegal after all. Put the Ridgeback in a crate and carry it up the tallest tower at midnight on Saturday. They can meet you there and take him away while it's still dark. Send me an answer as soon as possible. Love, Charlie.
We can use the invisibility cloak,
says Harry.
We can use the cloak to cover us and the crate. I think it's big enough.
They all agreed. All they want to do is to get rid of Norbert. But there is a problem in their plan. The next day, Ron's hand begins to swell from the dragon bite, and Hermione's scratch begins to hurt terribly. They think the bite and scratch might be poisonous. They decide to go to the infirmary. Harry goes to visit them later. When he enters the infirmary, Harry sees several areas separated by curtains. They must have patients who need some privacy. He finds Hermione and Ron towards the back of the infirmary. They are sitting in their own beds.
How are you, Ron? Hermione?
Asks Harry. Hermione smiles.
It's not too bad,
Hermione says.
Nurse Pomfrey says I should be fine in a day or two.
Ron doesn't look as healthy. His face is a little green.
It's not just my hand,
Ron says.
I had to lie to Nurse Pomfrey. I couldn't tell her a dragon bit me, could I? She would start to ask too many questions.
Harry tries to calm Ron down.
Look, everything will be over this Saturday at midnight. Saturday at midnight?
Ron complains.
I'm worried about getting the dragon up to the tallest tower without being seen. I'll relax then.
Suddenly, there is a sound from the curtained room next to theirs. They hear a laugh that they all recognize, and the sound of the curtains opening. Then, footsteps running towards the exit. Harry turns around and looks back towards the door. Impossible! It is Malfoy again! He must have been spying on them.
That was Malfoy,
Harry tells them.
Now he knows everything. It's too late to do anything now,
Hermione says, trying to calm Harry down.
We don't have time to send a message to Charlie now, and this might be our only chance to get rid of Norbert. We have to risk it.
Hermione is trying to convince the boys.
Anyway, Malfoy doesn't know about the invisibility cloak. We should be okay. We need to get to Hagrid's and tell him about the plan.
I won't let you do it,
Hagrid cries when the children tell him about their plan. But Hagrid doesn't have much choice, the children explain. Norbert has grown very large. He has bitten Hagrid and Fang many times. He is becoming too dangerous to keep. And anyway, having a dragon is illegal at Hogwarts. Hagrid could be expelled again.
Okay, I'll do it,
Hagrid yells. There are huge tears falling into his bushy beard. On Saturday night, the children arrive a little late to Hagrid's. They have difficulty avoiding the ghosts in the corridors as they are leaving. When they arrive at Hagrid's, they find him crying next to a wooden crate.
I put plenty of rats in the crate. and he has some brandy for his journey,"
says Hagrid.
"Goodbye, Norbert,"
he yells. He hugs the crate, and a big ball of smoke flows through the holes in the side. The children stand next to the crate, and Harry pulls out the invisibility cloak. He throws it up and over all of them. They walk slowly and carefully back to the castle. Hagrid is standing in the doorway to his house. He is crying silently. They do not know how they managed to get the crate all the way up to the castle, up the staircases, and finally to the bottom of the tallest tower. It is hard work. Then, all of a sudden, there is a sound ahead of them. Then they see a bright light from a lamp. They are still covered by the invisibility cloak, but they decide to hide in a dark shadow in the corridor. It is Professor McGonagall. She is wearing her bathrobe and slippers. She is holding Malfoy by one of his ears.
"Detention! And you will lose 20 points from Slytherin. What do you think you are doing, walking around here in the middle of the night?" "You don't understand, Professor," Malfoy says in his defense. "Harry Potter is supposed to be here. He has a dragon with him. Him and Ron and Hermione."
"That is nonsense," yells Professor McGonagall.
"How dare you tell such lies? I will tell Professor Snape about you, Malfoy. We'll see what he does to you."
Malfoy and Professor McGonagall pass by them, and they disappear down the stairs. Harry, Ron, and Hermione take a deep breath and climb the last stairs to the tallest tower. They finally take off the invisibility cloak. The cool air feels fresh and good on them. They can breathe properly again.
"Ha, ha, 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 ha," sings Hermione. "Malfoy's got detention. Malfoy's got detention."
They wait quietly after that, and in 10 minutes, 4 broomsticks appear out of the darkness. Charlie's friends are very friendly and cheerful. They show the children the ropes they have to carry the crate. They help attach the ropes to the wooden box, and then Harry, Hermione, and Ron shake hands with their new friends as they fly off with the crate. Finally, Norbert is gone. The children climb quietly back down the spiral staircase. Hagrid is safe, and they can finally relax. And the especially good news, Malfoy has detention. What could possibly go wrong? The answer to that is waiting at the bottom of the stairs. Filch is there in the darkness. Well, he whispers. "Aren't we in trouble?" The children have forgotten the invisibility cloak up in the tallest tower. Chapter 15. The Forbidden Forest. Filch takes the children directly to Professor McGonagall. She yells and screams and yells some more. She cannot believe the level of disobedience demonstrated by first-year students. She has no choice, she says, but to take away points from Gryffindor. 50 points for each child. They are lucky, she says, that she does not expel them right then and there. When the other children of Gryffindor House wake up the next morning, they see the house point counter. They have lost 150 points in one day? At first, they cannot believe it, but then they hear the stories. In one night, Harry goes from one of the most popular and admired students at Hogwarts to the most hated. Even children from Slytherin make fun of him. They thank Harry for putting them in first place. The only good thing that comes out of this whole situation is that Professor McGonagall thinks it is only a plan to give Malfoy detention. She still does not know anything about Hagrid and his dragon, or the invisibility cloak. If he wants to remain at Hogwarts and not be expelled, Harry thinks, he decides to mind his own business from now on. He focuses the next few days on preparing for his exams. Then, one day while he is at breakfast, Harry receives a letter. Hermione and Ron also receive the same letter. Your detention will take place at 11 o'clock tonight. Meet Mr. Filch at the entrance to the castle. Professor M. McGonagall. Harry has almost forgotten about detention. But they all feel they deserve the punishment. So at 11 o'clock, Harry, Hermione, and Ron leave the Gryffindor common room and go to the front entrance of the castle. Filch is already there, and so is Malfoy. Harry has forgotten about Malfoy, too. Follow me, says Filch. He lights a lamp and leads them out of the castle and towards the Forbidden Forest. Hagrid is there waiting for them.
Is that you, Filch?
Hagrid yells.
Hurry up, I want to get this over with. Let's go, all of you, into the forest we go. We have work to do.
Malfoy makes a strange sound.
The forest?
He asks. His voice is full of fear.
We can't go into the forest. It's full of horrible monsters, werewolves and vampires.
He makes the strange sound again. Then he is silent. Filch has no sympathy for Malfoy.
You should have thought about them werewolves before you broke the rules. Now get in there.
The children follow Hagrid into the dark, forbidden forest. They follow a narrow path. It disappears into the black trees. They walk for some time before Hagrid stops them. He calls them over.
Look here. Do you see that? That shiny silver stuff? That's unicorn blood. There's a unicorn in the forest that's hurt. We're going to find it. There's blood all over the place. We'll split up into 2 groups and follow the blood.
Hagrid takes Hermione and Ron down one path, and Harry and Malfoy go with Fang down a different path.
Oh, I almost forgot,
Hagrid says.
Just yell if you get into any trouble. We'll hear you.
Harry and Malfoy are not happy that they have to work together. It is dark and silent as they move through the forest. After a long while, Harry and Malfoy find a large splash of shiny blood on a tree. They stop and examine it. Suddenly, there is a noise off in the distance, like the sound of someone or something walking through the bushes. They listen carefully.
"Let's go check it out,"
Harry says, even though he is terrified.
"It might be the unicorn."
Malfoy looks just as terrified as Harry, but they move off the path and into the dark forest. Soon they approach a clearing. Suddenly, there is another, louder sound.
"Who's there?" yells Harry. "Show yourself!"
They move out into the clearing, and in the moonlight, Harry can see something white and shining on the ground.
"Look,"
whispers Harry. It is the unicorn, and it is dead. Harry has never seen anything so beautiful as that unicorn. He feels a deep sadness at its death. Its skin is the color of pearl, and its white mane is spread on the dark leaves. As they begin to move towards the animal, something dark, like a shadow, comes from the forest towards the unicorn. It is a person wearing a dark cloak and a hood. It moves like a crawling beast along the ground. It lowers its head over the wound in the side of the unicorn and begins to drink the animal's blood. Malfoy screams in terror. He turns around and runs away in fear back into the forest. Fang runs after him. Harry is alone with the creature. The creature raises its head and looks right at Harry. There is unicorn blood running down its face. The creature stands up and moves quickly towards Harry. Harry cannot move. He is frozen with fear. Then he feels a pain that lances through his head. It is a pain he cannot describe. Harry almost falls over. He cannot see because the pain is so excruciating. Then there is the sound of shouting from one direction. The shouting is coming closer. It sounds like Hagrid. And then Harry hears another sound. Something very big coming through the forest towards him from another direction. It is moving very quickly through the bushes and leaves. The pain is so terrible in Harry's head that he falls to his knees. Then something huge jumps over Harry and advances towards the creature. When Harry finally looks up, the dark creature is gone. But standing next to the unicorn is something Harry could never have imagined. From its head to its waist, the creature is a man. His hair is long and blonde, almost white. But below, he has the body of a horse. Its skin is smooth and the color of gold in the bright moon. His tail is a deep yellow color. Harry cannot believe his own eyes. It is a centaur. Then, suddenly, from the other side of the clearing, Hagrid appears. He is with all the other children, and Fang. Hagrid does not look surprised to see the centaur.
"You are the Potter boy," says the centaur. "You must return to the castle. The forest is not safe at this time, especially for you."
The centaur looks up and sees Hagrid and the children.
"Hagrid, I will take him back."
The centaur looks back at Harry.
"Can you ride?" "It will be quicker if you can ride. My name is Firenze," he says. "Go with him, Harry," Hagrid says. "He'll get you back to Hogwarts safely."
Still in pain, Harry moves towards Firenze. The centaur lowers himself so Harry can climb onto his back.
"Hold on!"
yells Firenze. He bolts away into the forest. Harry has to hold on to his mane tightly so he does not fall off.
"My kind does not concern itself with your kind,"
Firenze says as he rushes through the trees.
"But we have seen your future in the stars. It is a dark future, Harry Potter. But that creature that you saw tonight is a great danger to all of us. If we do not fight it together, we will surely lose everything."
Harry is confused. He does not know what Firenze is talking about, but he holds on tightly for dear life. After some time, Firenze suddenly begins to slow down. They are coming to the edge of the forest.
"Harry Potter, do you know what unicorn blood is used for?"
he asks. "No," says Harry, confused even more by the question.
"It is the most barbaric thing to kill a unicorn,"
Firenze continues.
"Only someone with nothing to lose would kill a unicorn. The blood of a unicorn will keep you alive, even if you are close to death. But you must pay a terrible price. The blood will keep you alive, but only in a half-life, a cursed life, almost dead, but never fully alive."
"But who would be so desperate to do that?" asks Harry.
Firenze does not answer for a long time. Then,
"If you only need something to keep you alive until you can drink something else that will restore your full life, something that will make you immortal. I think you know who and what I am talking about, Harry Potter."
Harry understands now. The Sorcerer's Stone, the elixir of life, Voldemort.
"This is where I leave you," says Firenze. "You are safe now. Make your way back to the castle. Stay out of the Forbidden Forest. Stay with your friends."
Harry slides off his back.
"Good luck, Harry Potter. The stars are bright tonight. We have read your future in them, but we have read the stars incorrectly before."
He turns and bolts off into the dark forest. The sound of his hooves quickly fades into the distance. Harry turns and walks out of the forest. He walks slowly back to Hogwarts. He has so many questions in his head. When the children arrive back in the Gryffindor common room, Harry explains what he has learned and the conclusions he has come to.
"It's Voldemort in the forest. Snape wants the stone for Voldemort, and Voldemort's waiting in the forest, drinking unicorn blood to stay alive."
Ron has a terrified look on his face.
"Harry, please stop saying his name,"
Ron whispers, as if Voldemort might hear him. Harry ignores him and continues his explanation.
"If Snape steals the stone and gives it to Voldemort, then he'll come after me and kill me for sure,"
Harry says. Ron looks even more uncomfortable when he hears you-know-who's name.
"Harry, everyone says Dumbledore is the only one you-know-who is afraid of,"
Ron says confidently.
"With Dumbledore around, you-know-who won't try to touch you."
Harry is not so sure. As the sun begins to rise, they all go to bed. They are exhausted and scared. But for Harry, there is still one more surprise waiting for him. When he pulls his bed sheets back to climb into bed, he finds the invisibility cloak. It is folded neatly next to his pillow. There is a note attached to it, just in case.